Find goblins.
We got most anticipated game.
Mm.
Now, I'm kind of excited for this, except I don't care which game wins, but 007
Okay.
First Light,
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty good looking. That was a
Very
good looking
excited for that.
007 game. Grand Theft Auto 6, I think this one is probably going to win, but you also got Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and The Witcher 4. I voted for The Witcher 4 to win because I like the Witcher series.
Right on. I voted for
Yeah.
Marvel's Wolverine.
Yeah,
but
that looks really sick too.
it looks really cool. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto is gonna win.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any getting around that.
Jamie, there's a secret nominee here.
What do you mean a secret nominee?
Half-Life 3.
That should have been winning every year.
It's not nominated, but no, follow me on this.
Okay, tell me.
So, Half-Life 3, secretly been in development for a long time.
Yeah.
At least 2020. That's like 5 years. But, so, I looked into this. I think it might be the trailer coming out at the Game Awards. Now, according to a leaker by the name of Gabe Follower, he found something called HLX in a bunch of different files in Valve. Now, now according to him, he says HLS started taking shape in late 2019, right?
All right.
And then, all right, so there's a whole Miro board. Remember that board we were using to draw? There was a whole board of that has a ton of leaks and like different like mechanics and like enemy designs or thought processes and stuff like that. Now, I'm just going into the timeline. This is just the tip of the iceberg, right? So there's a whole bunch of other stuff, probably some spoilers in there too that I don't want to like come out and say, but it probably is in there, and I'm not. I didn't want to look at it.
Yeah.
So I just looked at the timeline of this.
You skim it.
Yes. So Gary, you know who Gary is?
I don't know who Gary is.
Gary, the very same Gary that made Gary's mod.
Gary. That Gary.
That Gary. Gary Gygax. No, I don't know.
Gary Gary's last name.
Yeah. He makes, in 2020, he makes a set of code changes public.
Okay.
On accident. All
right.
And he renames a file name to include the letters HLX. This reference, it didn't exist before this. And that's what tipped people off. Like, what is HLX? Is HLX Half-Life 3? Something else? Is it like a VR thing? Well, actually, that when did Half-Life Alyx come out?
I want to say it was like 2019 or like 2018 or something like that.
Okay, so people were thinking like, oh, is it like a new VR thing? Is like, what does the X stand for? Then, also in 2020, a designer / artist that worked on Valve updates their portfolio, and it likely mentions HLX as an unannounced project.
Okay.
They worked on level design. And then, in 2021, March, we start to see HLX appear in code for the Dota 2 update. That's crazy, Jamie. That's crazy.
It is silly.
Yes. And then in April, dev builds for Essenbach, which is technically the spiritual successor to Gary's mod, are released to the public. The developer face punch includes a lot of internal tools, including console helpers for HLX. And these console helpers are nearly identical for the ones in Half-Life Alyx. And the only real differences are the ones related to NPC commands.
Okay.
Right? So people are starting to catch on to like, maybe this is a VR thing. They don't know, right? Then March, Aperture Desk Job releases. You know what that is?
Yeah, it was like a separate portal thing, right?
Right. It's like it's basically a tutorial for your Steam Deck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it releases, right? It features new V data. Now, I had to look up what V data is. And it's just
Mm.
basically Valve files.
Okay.
But this V data is versions of NPC/AI. It also features files that should not have been there, such as weapons, squad modes, and even more definitions in schemas. Now, Greg Coomer's interview. Do you know who Greg Coomer is? He has an
No.
interview with Komatsu. Greg Coomer is a product designer at Valve, and this is the thing. This is the thing, Jamie. His
Okay.
face is one of several used for the head model of Gordon Freeman. Gordon Freeman himself is interviewing with Komatsu, and he confirms that Valve has a lot of games in development, and that Half-Life Alyx is just a sign. It's just a sign, Jamie, that Valve has more to say about the world. So obviously they're thinking of something. Could it be Half-Life 3? Could it be just a sequel to Alex in a VR game? We don't know. We don't know. But
But
in
there's
an
something
interview
Half
with
Life.
Valve, what?
There's something Half Life coming.
Something Half-Life. They're working on something. Or they're thinking about working on something. We don't know. But in an interview with Valve, US Gamer asked about the identity of the Combine collaborator in Alex. And the response they get is, she's a character we don't want to talk too much about. We have plans for her. Plans for her, Jamie.
Plans.
They're talking about some type of sequel to something in Half-Life.
Yup.
Now, even more damning, Mike Morsky. You know who this guy is?
No.
Composer for several Valve titles. Hmm? Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
But he only
Okay.
worked on one. He only worked on Half-Life Alyx. In an interview, he accidentally says he worked on 2 Half-Life games. 2!
Mm.
And then he has to
Okay.
quickly correct himself and say 1. Pretty
Ooh. Okay.
fishy, pretty fishy. So
Yeah.
something's there, something's there. Then Half-Life, we're in 2023 now. Half-Life 25th anniversary comes out. Valve updates the Steam Deck and a bunch of new bug fixes uh, in the original Half-Life. And then there's a documentary released, and then there's a new icon in these files somewhere, and it's like an 8-bit Gordon Freeman with a crowbar holding above his head,
Yeah.
titled buildbreakmaster.png. What is this PNG breaking out of? This is starting to sound like some type of marketing scheme. That's
Like a
that's the
promo
real
website
that's
or
the real
something.
real. Huh?
That's like a promo website or something, right?
I don't know.
Or,
I don't
or
know.
like promotional materials. Yeah.
Do you think that was promotional materials? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's what it sounds
Secretly
like to
hidden
me.
somewhere. Someone found it. Then in 2024 February, new sounds are added that mention HLX. In July, new HLX references found in motion vector shading in the new Deadlock update. In August, HLX added to a bug tracker, not trapper, little bug zapper,
Okay.
no bug tracker.
Yeah.
Um, which means okay, they're working on something. This is actually has some weight and significance behind it, Jamie. Then in November, Half-Life 2 20th anniversary, Valve actively talking about the never materialized episode 3 in a YouTube video on their channel. Now, why would they
Oh.
talk about episode 3? Why would
Yeah.
'cause everyone knows that episode 3 was in development, I guess, and
Hmm.
nobody knows what happened to it. But they were talking about it. They were talking about all their like ideas and whatnot, but they never released it. Where did
Yeah.
episode 3 go? Well, in December, Gabe Follower reports that Valve has started playtesting a game with friends and family. What are they playtesting? They're playtesting something, and they're keeping it under
Something.
wraps.
Super
Now,
secret.
at the end of 2024, you might have seen this tweet. Mike Shapiro, the voice of the G-Man, he sends out a tweet in his cryptic G-man voice. Do you remember this tweet, Jamie?
No, not particularly. Tell
Okay,
me about it.
because so he says a bunch of lines, but here's what sticks out to me. He says, "In the next quarter century, the, may the next quarter century deliver you as many unexpected surprises as the millennium's first. See you in the new year." See you in the new year, Jamie.
What is he up to?
Yes. And now, Gabe Follower, he is getting reports in different things, different leaks, and saying that Half-Life 3 is going to be announced sometime near the end of this year.
Okay,
So now
where are you getting at with this?
we're getting into rumors now, Jamie.
Mm.
Because in 2025, there's more HLX code found in internal group names. So this is coming. This is coming. But here are some rumors. These are based on tweets from different gaming journalists. On November 11th, journalist and co-founder of Xbox Era, Nick Baker, says, "If what I was just DM'd is actually true, next week GTA 6 could actually have its thunder stolen on the hype scale. LMAO." Obviously, the Steam machine was announced.
Okay, yeah, well, not
Yes,
quite.
yes.
Hype stealing.
And then someone says, asks him, "Is this it?" And he's like, "Well, technically, no." But then he confirms. Well, we'll get to that later. He says
Mm.
technically no. But then Valve comes out. They come out and they say themselves on November 12th. They say themselves, HLX isn't a VR game, Jamie. It's not a VR game. They're acknowledging that HLX is a game or is something.
It's something tangible.
Yes, and it's not a VR game. Then Mike Straw, senior editor at Inside Gaming, he tweets, "By the way, Valve isn't done with the big announcements. Soon enough, there's going to be something else." What does this guy know? He knows something. It's on
He
the
knows
13th.
something.
Yes. He says it's likely not to be at the Game Awards. What, Jamie? That's just to throw him off. That's just to throw you off.
Yeah.
November 15th. Someone else tweets. He tweets, "It's happening soon enough. Just be ready." Soon enough. That means soon, Jamie. And we all know
Soon.
what soon means in the game industry. It means tomorrow.
Well, I was gonna say soon in Valve time means like 12 years from now.
But yeah.
Historically.
Okay, but then on November 18th, Nick Baker, remember we talked about this guy just 2 seconds
That's right.
ago.
That's
He
right.
confirms in a tweet that he was told Half-Life 3 was going to be announced when the Steam machine was announced. Clearly, it wasn't. Now, that's kind of where we stand. But Gabe Follower says he hasn't heard anything new from the last year, and he still expects that Valve is aiming for a 2025 announcement on this HLX project. And there's lots of speculation from other gaming journalists that claim Half-Life 3, his trailer, is in the works. And then here is the nail in the coffin, Jamie.
Okay.
The Game Awards. I just saw this just yesterday. They tweeted 27 years ago, Valve released Half-Life, its first game, and an image of Gordon Freeman. Jamie, this is the hype that they're building up. So you watch the Game Awards so that you watch it and you get hype for Half-Life 3. Because in my mind, what I think is going to happen is that this is what happened, Jamie.
Okay.
Half-Life Episode 3 was in the works, and Valve was like, "We can't live up to hype now. This is too much pressure on us. We need to
Mm.
let it cool down a little bit." Obviously, the cooling never happened. It got nuclear hot for
Yeah.
years, and
They
now,
kind of just sat with it.
yeah, only recently has it started to cool down a little bit. But there's still some very, very dedicated people, Jamie, and there's some developers at Valve that say we're not afraid of it anymore. And so I really think what happened is that they were going to release episode 3. It got too big. They got a little scared that they couldn't fill the hype, and then
Mm.
on the scale of things, it got too big. And so then they turned it into Half-Life 3. That's what I think, Jamie. That's what I think.
So you think the Half-Life 3 is going to show up at the Game Awards? That's what you're telling me.
Right.
Steve? Well, first off, what do you think of my board here? Yeah.
This is great.
It all comes back to Gary here. It sounds plausible. It sounds like you've done the research to find out, is Half-Life 3 real? And it is showing up. And it sounds to me like Half-Life 3 is real, and it's going to be showing up here at the Game Awards, if not the end of the year. But I've been burned before, Steve. I have been hurt. I have to take this with a grain of salt and be like, cool if it happens. Sucks if it don't. I can't be hurt again. But I would love for Half-Life 3 to show up at the Game Awards and just kind of blow everything out of the water. It's what is it? Mark Laidlaw, who was like a writer at Valve for the longest time years ago, said that, they were pretty much, they had like a script and a story and things that they wanted, like points that they wanted to hit with Half-Life 3, or Episode 3 rather. And it just didn't happen. And he didn't obviously go into detail about it. But maybe this is kind of corroborating with that, in that they were just saying the hype is just too much, or was too much. But there's so many good games out right now that, people aren't even thinking about it until here it is.
Yeah.
Here it finally is.
Here it is, Jamie. This is it. Also, according to Leaker, Counter-Strike 2 content creator who leaked information on Deadlock, Half-Life 3 codename LX, announced before the end of the year. Well, I already said that.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's a poll. This is a fun poll.
Okay.
Is Half-Life 3 really being announced and released? Really close to being announced and released? And now this is a poll at the end of the article for I don't know where it was.
Some website.
Yeah, but 49% of people who voted in this poll said yes. 31% said no, and 20% said it was too early to tell.
See, I don't know. People are just giving into the hype. Are they giving into the hype, Steve? Are they just saying, "Oh my god, I'm willing to accept it"? Is it here? Based on the evidence shown to me at hand that you pulled up, I tried to draw the Half-Life, the Lambda logo. I forgot what it looked like.
Yeah,
this is it right here. It's just a
drew
pie
a pie
symbol. Just based on that, I feel like gamers just give into their hype, though, and I have been known to do that, and I'm trying to do that less because it leads you to disappointment often than not. But are you telling me I should be hyped, Steve?
You should be a little hype.
All right, I'll be hyped. I'll be hyped for you, Steve.
All right, Jamie.
Now
let's move on.
Wait, hold up. What if Half-Life X, what if HLX isn't even Half-Life 3? What if they just skip Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, Half-Life 10?
It's a possibility, because it is my opinion that the number 3 is cursed in gaming and movies. Yes. I won't go into it now. That's a whole other thing.
Sure, yeah.
That's my